Ewok, maybe you can even, and then we'll kind of get to other stuff. I mean, what can you talk about as far as 2017 and the potential of things spilling over into 2026? Because I said this to you the other day, and I think you kind of misinterpreted what I meant. There's definitely 4-year cycles. I wasn't arguing anything beyond that, but like, I think psychologically, participants and investors in this market are really hurting themselves mentally, always thinking of the 4-year cycle and thinking like, oh my God, hey, we've got 9 months now at December 2025. If things are where they need to be, I'm and then they're making bad short-term decisions. That's all I meant by that. And I think that people maybe are too married to exact timing of things, and it's messing with them,
I mean, I guess we could go back and look, but people forget the parabolic run-ups happen within 2-3 months.
Yeah.
Yes, we may have 8-9 months left in the year, but the majority of the upswing that happens in most of these markets. Now, Bitcoin's a little different because it's the grandfather, right? It's 1 year down and then it's a steady 3 years up. Well, this other stuff, they say it's 3 years down and 1 year up. Well, it's not even 1 year. When you look at the run up, it happens so quickly for a lot of things. The movements go from this was back, what are we looking at, December of 20? No, you're talking 17, right?
Yeah.
So we have to go to Bitcoin for that. But the majority of the price run, well, again, I just said that for 2017, it is going to run up for basically 3 years. When you look at this on the daily chart, the upswing from 2016 is all up. Hang on, why is this not doing what I wanted to do? But when you look at some of the smaller tokens, a lot of those parabolic things happen within 6 to 18 weeks, pretty much. It's a very shortened period of time. So, yes, we have a lot of time left this year, but they forget how quickly that it does run up, I think, sometimes, and forget when the good times happen, they happen quickly. Mm-hmm. So, 9 months is a long time to find, 2 months, 3 months maybe of solid run up, and that's when everybody starts jumping in, and just kind of pushes it that way. So I don't know. I mean, I didn't disagree with you, but I still say when we zoom out, we look at the time frame, and it's still the same.
Mm-hmm.
You've got this run up basically from
you don't have a screen yet.
Oh, I don't.
No.
Oh,
there you go.
Interesting. All right. You've got this run up that basically went from 3,000 that started in August, that went all the way to 20,000 in December. So that was your main run. Your main run in 2017 was a very short period because it did fall back. August of 2017, it was down to, where's that, September? That's September. So it went from 3,000 in Bitcoin all the way up to 20,000 in 3 months, 4 months. So it happens quickly, and then even when you look at the time frame for 2021, this was September of 20, and here we are, April of 21. So again, a very short period of time.
Yep. 6 months basically.
Yeah. And this is Bitcoin. That's not even like I said, when you look at Ethereum, and I don't know why these things keep jumping out of whack on me here, but it's just, people forget that everything's compressed. Bull markets are compressed into a very short period of time because the hyperness of the whole thing, people start jumping on and piling on. When they see green candles, it's just so quick, and it happens basically overnight.
Yeah.
So what seems
it,
like overnight.
it does turn on a dime. And I mean, like, yeah, I mean, people have talked about it. I mean, it's basically a 3.5 year bear market, you know, or
Yeah,
at least anti-bull market, not things
right.
going parabolic or anything. And Hex Girl, I think, asks a pretty good question here. Can we really look at past cycles when this is the first cycle the government was so involved in crypto? This might be different. And I want to get your take on that, Ewok. I mean, she is right. I mean, yeah, we do have obviously Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs, although the Ethereum ETF might as well, you know, wipe your ass with that. But we do have that. We have, you know, Trump wanting America to be the crypto capital world, all these different things. But I think when it comes to the timing, though, I don't think we're going to see anything really different. I don't think the timing of it necessarily, in terms of the government being involved, I think the timing of the cycles would still be accurate because it's all related to money printing. I mean, you know, the trope has always kind of been, no, it's related to the Bitcoin halving, but it's really also related to liquidity, and there actually being money printed with it throughout the world and things like that. So I don't think timing wise the government being involved will have any effect. Maybe short term chart wise, that would be my kind of take on it. But what do you think about that, Ewok?
Well, I think as time goes on, all things get better, right? You know, like we just mentioned, Bitcoin has the 1 year down, 3 years up, because it's been around so long. It's a lot more stable, but I think that's because of time. I think things will hopefully start to pivot a little bit, and the longer tokens have been around, the less of a drop we'll see. That just means that there's more separation, everything's so much more spread out between many people. You don't have a lot of big holders that can really just crash the price, and do devastating things to a token. You know, it becomes a lot more spread out. It's harder for one person to crash it, and I think you do see that with time given along the way. You end up with lost coins. You end up with people that forget their keys. You end up with just people that die, and then nobody has access to it anymore.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those things happen, and over time, yeah, I think it definitely helps. Could this extend it? I don't know. We'll see. You know, people talk about the government now doing things, but you know, that statement of the fund that they wanted to keep, they said they weren't going to buy any. Unfortunately, they're not going to sell it either. So, you know, it's not really bullish for price. It just doesn't make it quite as bearish. So I think that's kind of how we have to look at that.
And we're going to get into that topic too. And RH actually tweeted about that as well, the Bitcoin strategic reserve. So yeah, we'll get to that specifically. But great question, Hex Girl. We got Wild SJ in the chat. So welcome in. She's the Pulse Chain Tour account that's in there. So welcome in, SJ.